Welcome. Incoming message.
This is the May Contain Action podcast
on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and more.
3, 2, 1, 0. All systems active.
Welcome to episode 58 of the May Contain Action podcast, the show brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below the belt grooming. Manscaped offers an immaculate body shaving experience. I almost did it. I talk to myself
every week.
I get through this.
It literally says the same thing
For 58 straight episodes. Holy frick. I am Paul, aka ActionJaxon, host number 1. I specialize in variety streaming. I've been on Twitch for about 7 years. I drive a Jeep Wrangler. More things about me, just because you guys wanted to get to know me. I'm joined by host number 2, who drives a Tesla, like everyone else.
or a rental car, depending on time of the year.
Pitcher for the New York Metropolitans, May.
Hey, this is my variety streamer friend Paul that plays Tarkov only.
Damn it. Sometimes I
exclusively for the last 6 months I played literally not another game but that.
We played I played Phasmophobia one time.
Oh yeah, and Call of Duty, but
it was horrific.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Call of Duty because it's a terrible game. Thank you so much for joining me today, Trevor, as you do almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you listener and or viewer, do you want to be on the pod? Call or leave a message, or text 503-908-9526. That's 503-908-9526. Leave your question and you may make the episode. Again, that's a phone call. Those are kind of things your parents did. Phone call to a place where you leave a voicemail for someone. Okay, it's very important to leave the voicemail. We don't get missed calls. Not gonna call you back. Ask us a question about anything that you have a question for, whether it's our new guest or anything you really want to ask Trevor about how he throws his fastball. You can do that there. It's totally fine. Or text if that's more up your alley. Yeah, that's 503-908-9526. Now let's welcome our guest today. She is a proud member of Team Confectionery and a partner with Twitch and freaking Nintendo somehow. Seum is here with us, everybody.
Somehow. I still don't even know how I got it.
That's really that. I know that it's really not anything against you. I don't know how.
We never heard of it.
I didn't know it existed.
I feel like it's the hardest thing to do in streaming is get Nintendo to acknowledge you.
All you did was what?
All I did was get an email. I guess whenever you stream a lot of Animal Crossing, they're like, thanks for keeping the game alive on Twitch.
That's incredible. If I got an email from Nintendo and they're like, hey, we want to sponsor you, but like, this is spam. Get this out of my inbox.
I will say though, I looked at it and I was like, let me research this person's name and see if they really work at Nintendo. It came up their LinkedIn. They real.
That's amazing.
There we go.
That's amazing. How long have you been sponsored by Nintendo?
It just started very recently. I'd probably say maybe December, November-ish.
Oh, wow.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty recent. And they're reworking like a partner program.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
My goodness.
Congratulations.
So much cooler than any sponsor I've ever had, except for Manscaped, that is. Oh, Manscaped. You're so good. Do you think they ever listen to our Manscaped intro and they're like, God, what are we thinking?
Paul,
sponsoring these guys.
No one at that company knows that they sponsor us, except for the one guy that handles our account. He's in the basement.
There's no one there that knows who we are.
Like,
That's
I like
fine.
these guys. That's all that matters.
There's no windows in that guy's office. I know that much. I'm just kidding. If you're listening, please stay.
He's probably just one of our viewers who worked at Manscaped and was like, I could probably put some money aside for these guys.
There you go.
My mom owns it, so
Exactly. Well, let's hop into it. Sam, we want to get to know you.
Okay.
Obviously, and we well, at least I am very intrigued by your name. We usually like to know how people came across their name or decided upon it, right? Like what crazy thing happened in your childhood? You're like, I'm Star Princess 92 and double X U and Z's and I don't know.
Crazy but cute 68.
There. Oh my gosh, perfect. So my question for you is, how is Sam? How'd you come upon that name? How'd you spell it that way? And what was your first online persona or alias? What was the very first one?
Really quickly, I think that we need to make sure that people who aren't actually watching, know that Sam, they're spelled differently.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
And okay, well, let's start with that then. So, back in high school, all of my friends that were in band, they did marching band, and when you do your 8 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Seum is how they would say it, and it was. I'm their friend Sam, and so they'd be like Seum, like all right. So that just kind of stuck. However, whenever I used to be online and play Halo back in the day, I used to be Just Sam, JUSTSAM, and then I could never get that username anywhere else, and so I was like, Just Seum. let's go with this. So it's basically a play on my name. However, it's really funny when people are like, "Oh, hey, Seum," and I'm like, "Where in the English language is SEUM Seum?" Like, think of the word museum.
Yeah. They're like, this is probably a French name. So I think that it's probably
it is actually a French word. It's like a slang term for like hate or like pissed off or something.
Oh god.
Yeah, so whenever they come in, they're like, do you know what this means? I'm like, yeah, I do, buddy.
Yes, I do. You are not the first, believe it or not.
Wow.
Exactly. Also, as a sidebar for our listeners, Trevor is at his new house in Florida for spring training, which is why it sounds like he's in a cave far, far away.
Yeah.
Cave.
We store helicopters in this hangar that I'm in. So I apologize for the echo, but we're going to do nothing about it. All right. They're just continuing on.
Well, Sam, so what was your then first ever, like, whatever it was, screen name, Xbox, AOL? First appearance?
Oh gosh, AIM days were very different. I was Lime Shine Sam back in that time.
You were what?
Shine?
Lime Shine Sam. I was 8 years old whenever I made my account.
Heck yes.
Wow.
So like she ain't attached to that anymore. But no, it was honestly I made a new Xbox account because I wanted my name to be the same across platforms as things started to happen. So I just went with just Sam, and then it stuck everywhere.
That's perfect. Yeah, it's good to go back and change those. Mine was Black Paul, so I had to really go back and adjust that one. That one doesn't hit the ear quite right.
Yeah.
I stumble over your username all the time.
You what's that?
ActionJaxon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like it's Trevor May and ActionJaxon.
Everyone just has like an absorbent amount of spit in their mouth whenever they say my name.
Yeah, we just want to
ActionJaxon.
Which I never knew was a problem until everyone started saying it. Then I was like, oh, I am way too entrenched into this name to change now. That's
there you go.
Yikes. Have to be. I thought about going to just like you, Paul, or it's Paul. And Twitch was like, yeah, we really don't think that you're known for that name, so we're gonna make you stay with ActionJaxon. And I was like,
they're like, no, you can't pull that off.
You don't look like a Paul to us.
At least 250,000 followers for Paul. So sorry.
You look more like a Michael to us, so that's unfortunate.
Wow.
Definitely a Michael.
And literally no one, including your probably partner rep and everyone who's ever spoken to you at Twitch, calls you Paul.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yeah, they don't know.
you know,
No one calls me, hey, Action.
literally nobody,
No one.
Action.
or
No
even
one.
Jackson.
If they call, so actually a pretty good tell, if someone, for whatever reason, I don't know why this is the case, whenever I see an email and someone's like, hey, Jackson, like they use JAXON,
Like, you don't know me.
this is spam and you don't know me. And it's like every time it's the case. Like, hey, we saw your Instagram post last week and we would love to do work with you. Like, what? It
Would you
a
like to
dog.
collab?
Or when they just do your username, it's like, oh, hey, just Sam. Hey, ActionJaxon.
Take your time, Sam. Take your time.
ActionJaxon.
Don't.
ActionJaxon. I did it.
Would you like to collab? We get the most engagement on our generic posts.
We want to make
have
riddles with your name.
We have no idea
Exactly
what you do or what we do, but let's do it together.
I was just.
ActionJaxon's not an Anglo-Saxon.
What is happening?
It's not easy to say. It's just hard to say.
I was joking around
Change
with a buddy of mine yesterday, and we were talking about like those unsolicited emails, and they're just like, sometimes they're just very transparent. And they're like, hey, look, I saw your recent stream. It looked like you peaked over 1,000 viewers. I'd love to collab with you at some point and just really just harness your viewership energy. That'd be great. Like, I don't know who you are. I don't know.
Here's the one I ignore. They go, hi, I am Trevor May. I'm like, yikes. And then they say, hey, we have a new opportunity. We're looking for investors. So what we did is we took the blockchain and then I just delete it.
That's what you get emails like that.
We started to use the blockchain to make sports cards. I'm like, virtual ones? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, to do what? I'm like, you can collect them. I'm like, I get it. I get you can authenticate. I'm not. No,
I don't think people want virtual cards
because it physically exists already, and that's the like having it physically in your hand is like the part about it that everyone likes.
I'm trying to think of anything that I physically have that I would prefer to be in a digital format. If you were in my room.
Well, I mean, do you want to handwrite your letters or do you want to send?
Oh,
that's good.
My God.
Communication,
Sam just blew my mind. Never mind. Touche.
Here to help.
We can all agree that digital balloons are way worse than physical balloons. So.
Oh, true. Yeah, yeah.
Point made.
We can only
Weird
agree that
point.
digital murder is better than real murder.
Very, very true. See?
And among us, that's
Thanks for
legal
taking it to
there.
a really, really dark place, Sam. Really appreciate that.
So sorry.
I'll
A
agree
bunch of
that
11-year-olds playing a game where you stab a person.
Go.
And be like, gotcha. Who is it? Fun. Anyway, we went on a crazy tangent right there. That was about as crazy as it gets for us. So we nailed down the name Sam, and it sounds like Sam's been in all the names. The name Sam has been in every name. I was very different than you. I had I always had these aggressive names that
Like Dark Ninja.
kind of like the trying to be an edgelord a little bit. Like played America's Army online, which I'm that old. Most people don't know what that is, but it was Tarkov before Tarkov, and my name was like put a hole through you. Like with underscores everywhere.
So lame.
So lame. So lame. And I wasn't that good either, so it didn't make any sense either.
I couldn't put a hole in anyone. It was,
I should have went with. I don't know why. It's weird. I never went with Trevor on anything or Trev. Everyone called me Trev. It was just I didn't have any nicknames, and then I grew into this big hulking human, and then everyone started calling me Lurch. So now in thinking back on it, I wish I would have known about. I could have really leaned into Lurch really good.
you could have.
For all my branding, but no, just tried to went through the DJ phase, had all the DJ names. It was like let's put the brands together. All right, stop making up weird DJ names that make no sense. We won't go there though, but we will go and talk about food because I need to know. Okay, so first, before we go though, I need to know what part of the country are you in?
I'm in California.
California. Okay, West Coast. That is important. We've noticed regionality has a lot to do with this question. So,
Oh, but I'm from Louisiana.
you're from Louisiana. Ooh, this is going to be interesting then. So,
Louisiana.
Yes.
You know, you've been gaming for a long time. You said you've been on the internet for a long time. Sounds like aim at 8. That's a long career.
It's a long career.
Do you have anything?
I'm old.
Is there any food that you associate with like going for a long? Is there anything you would like love to pick up and like go for a long gaming session? Going to play Halo, for example. Halo's a great one because everyone did LAN parties, right? Like you just got your car and you're 16 and
Halo's
you're
what got
playing
me
Halo
into
2. Do you have any like fast food or just food in general that you associate with gaming? For me, it was Taco Bell growing up. I'd always get it and go play WoW until the wee hours of the morning. Do you have any of that?
My
can't
answer
wait.
is going to be not what
Good.
you're
That's
expecting.
what I was hoping for.
Just mashed
Mashed
potatoes.
potatoes
Yes.
in general, just a vat of
Yes.
mashed potatoes.
Just mashed potatoes.
Yes, I'm so glad it's
And
weird.
it's still to this day my like go-to. Just mashed potatoes.
Did you ever get those mashed potato bowls from KFC? Did you ever do that? Okay. The famous
Absolutely.
bowls? Okay, yeah, that's the only thing I would ever get too.
Mashed potatoes. It's got taties in it.
What?
I'm imagining
So
just
am
like
I.
you're just peeling potatoes. Everyone's like, she's about to game so hard later.
No, that's why you buy the instant
The
stuff.
flakes. That's what my mom used to make.
I mean, yes, we make the real stuff, but like when you in a crunch and you got your time to game, you just boil up some mashed potatoes.
So-
That I was not expecting that. You were right.
I'm really excited that you said that. It's what do you call them?
Mashed potatoes.
You said another word.
Hades.
Oh, mashed
Yeah.
taties.
That's the one.
Mashed taties.
Literally, I've never like it hit my ear, and I've never heard that in my life. Never heard the word
Never heard
taters.
Hades? Oh, I guess.
Yeah, mashed
Yeah.
taties.
I've never
I've
heard
heard
that
of
either.
taters. You know, potatoes. Cook them, boil them, put them in a stew.
Boil them.
Smashable. So you're at home, you're getting ready to game. You're gonna throw on a league or, you know, Among Us or something. And you're like, God, you know what I want right now? It's a big bowl of taties.
That's right. And you sprinkle like cheddar cheese in them, let it get all melty, and then they're like cheddar cheese
Yeah.
mashed taties. And
Cheddar cheese.
Now I'm hearing it. Now I'm hearing it every time. No, but no gravy. That's too much, right? That's two pans. That's the second. It's the second saucepan.
that is too bad. You know, I'm not in for that. But if I'm getting that mashed potato bowl, it's already in there, so that's like, you know, beautiful. But yeah, you know, you sprinkle some goodness in there. You can spice it up. Oh, you can put some chives, maybe some sour cream. It's like a loaded baked potato in mashed
God.
potato form.
So
Yeah, there you go.
it's better that you've
chef.
added stuff to it. You're like, yeah, you know, cheese, you know, chives. You know,
It's a
you're adding
great
all that
base.
stuff.
It's
You're
a
adding
great
that. That's
base.
fantastic. It makes it a little bit better because the first initial image was just like flat white bowl of mashed potatoes, and I was like, that's a weird thing to eat.
Well, think about it this way: it's a starch the same way that like people would just make rice, right, and then just put stuff on it, and then that would be their base, right? Chicken on top of rice, meat on
Yeah.
you know, that's the same thing. It's just mashed potatoes.
Put some
I don't
fried
know what
egg
point
in
you're
it.
trying to make here. What is that?
I'm just saying, it's not. It's if someone said, "Oh yeah, I just made some rice really quick," and then like threw some stuff in, like that would sound super like common to me. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, like you just made some quick rice." It's the same
Sure.
thing, just with potatoes. But you just don't think of any mashed potatoes. In my head, is just like, you know, it's a side at Thanksgiving. It's a
Yeah.
side. But
Yeah.
rice can be like a base, but it can
Speaking
be a
of
base
rice.
just like that.
We do want to get to know obviously a little bit more about your career, not just your very, very odd palatable choices for food. But you've been doing this for a little bit, a little live streaming, casting as well. Live casting. Like I don't know why I just called it streaming live casting.
It's
I don't know what that even means.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Yeah, it's not recorded casting. When did you first find it, discover it? Like when did you first see it being done, whether it was like on TV or on Twitch or any place for that matter? And when did you try it for yourself? You're like, okay, I think I can do that, and I think I can do it well. When did you give it a shot?
So, I've been streaming 6 years. And so back in 2014, I was watching what my husband had on. He was watching somebody complete Crota Raid in Destiny solo. And
Ooh.
I was like,
Wow.
oh, what is this website? And so I went on there and I was like just scrolling through different directories and I was like, oh, I bet they don't have this game or this game. Hello.
You went in there like an elitist. You're like, no shot they've got
Well,
this.
because I mean, like it seemed like a boys' world, and I was like, well, do they have like The Sims?
Sure.
And then I found The Sims, and I found a streamer streaming it, and I was just like, I got kind of involved in the community a little bit because it was slow and was vibey, and I was like raising a young toddler, and then I was like, I can do this, and so I tried to figure out how I could do this. And so in February of 2015, I went live for the first time. And what I used is my disappointment of my college books. And just what else am I going to use them for? So I used those. Sorry, college.
True. I still have a
here.
stack.
Yeah, they were all a
totally
bunch
fine.
of medical textbooks. So I was in my living room and I would stack them up on my coffee table. And this was back when Xbox had the snap feature. And so I would snap my Twitch channel so that I could see chat. Because this is my monitor, is my TV. And then I would play the game. And the thing with the snap feature is that you can't hear audio. So I heard no audio cues. Doing Destiny raids during that was a mess. But so I would reach out that way and see that. And then eventually I was like using my son's iPad that he used for like toddler games as my alerts. And my Xbox Connect stacked on my college books as my camera.
Heck yeah, the Connect.
And then, like my mic, do you remember the old headsets where like only one prong was like plastic and it was just on this ear and you just had the mic?
Yeah. Yes.
So that's all that I started with. And I was just, staring at my TV like this because I'm on the floor. My TV's up there. And so that's kind of where it started. And then over time it progressed and now I'm in my office and started literally from the bottom.
Started from the bottom.
Hey, Lupo did didn't he play Destiny sitting on the ground the same way?
Yeah, that's something him and I reminisce about.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's fun.
I had no idea Destiny was even that old. Like,
yeah, the original Destiny forever ago.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
13? 14? 13?
What?
13, I think.
Yeah, and we were all super fired up because it was like we're like, it's a Halo MMO.
Yeah, it was like the next
Halo.
Halo.
Oh my gosh, I gotta look up the release date now because I didn't even. God, is this what it happens when you get old? You just think things happened last year, and it's like, no, that happened 20 years ago, Paul.
We all think we're like 21 still. It's fine.
Yeah, we wear hats backwards and stuff, like weird.
Yeah, couldn't be caught dead.
Yeah, weird young people stuff.
Couldn't be caught dead. Oh my gosh. It said Destiny release date. It said 2017. I'm like, no, not that one.
That was
2.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll never know.
When it came to PC,
2014. Holy crap, that's
it got
wild.
pushed back so much. I think it should have been. I think it was 2011 or 2012 that it was supposed to be initially released. Yeah.
2014 with Peter Dinklage. Dinkler. Dinklebot. That's right.
Yeah, Dinklebot.
Oh my gosh, I am ancient. I cannot believe that came out that long ago. I'm having a hard time with that. Because like the way you're describing it, like the way you started streaming, like I had like the half headset and like I had an iPad set up. I'm like, oh, what was she playing? Like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or something? Like that's like some old
used
game.
To, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to stream that on GTA 5.
Oh, that's also disgusting that GTA 5 was still out back then.
Yeah, now it's still out.
$60.
It's still $60.
Still.
Yeah, it's still $60, and then every like 6 months they're like, and it's free for 2 weeks everywhere. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
It crashes
we'll give you
every
cash
server.
in the game.
Yeah, we'll give you cash. Yeah, just give us cash in the game.
Just give us cash in the game. We'll give you cash.
Yeah, they don't need to come out with any more GTAs, man. They could just keep making models.
It's a cash cow.
It's a cash cow. I mean, like every single time there's a new like conference or something, they're like, and GTA 5 is going to the phone, and you're like,
it's like Skyrim.
Yeah, it's like Skyrim. They're doing it with Skyrim too.
Oh my gosh.
Play it on your refrigerator.
Play it on your refrigerator.
That's always some like big announcement too. Like in this brand new thing, play Skyrim. Like, of course it plays Skyrim. Skyrim's like a 16-bit game. It's a game so old.
Yes.
Make a
You
new
can
one.
mod the heck out of it.
It's not
for,
an
like, extra.
accomplishment.
You got to remember, like they make who makes those games again? Skyrim and
Bethesda?
Limited.
Wait.
Bethesda. Yeah, wait.
Oh, Bethesda. That's right. Bethesda. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
Bethesda.
Bethesda.
She laughed at you
So,
while she said it. She's like, Bethesda, you
I-
idiot.
Sorry.
there was news about someone else recently, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So Bethesda, you got to remember. You guys, did anyone play Morrowind on? Was it PS1?
Yeah.
That was Xbox. Morrowind.
Yeah.
Morrowind was on Xbox.
Morrowind. Yeah, I know, because I went to
on
my
Xbox.
cousin's house. Yeah, to play it.
Okay, so it must have been PS2 and Xbox. Okay, so PS2.
Yeah.
It came with like 10 CDs. It was like the
It's
biggest
like-
game ever made. We're like, of
Oh
course,
yeah.
the Skyrim's gigantic and keeps like they make these
Yes.
gigantic stories.
Yeah. It's
that
like
are
Diablo
way
2.
bigger than any other game. It's
3
crazy.
CDs.
Oh yeah. Dude, I never forget when I played Morrowind at my cousin's house on Xbox, like the original fat, huge controller, and I walked into
those controllers.
like a trader's house or something. I don't know, like a merchant, and he was like, "Dude, you can like totally steal that gem on the table." I was like, "Wait, what? I can just take it?" He was like, "Yeah, if you want to, just take it." I'm like, you can steal in this game? I want to steal everything. It's all mine. And then I stole it off the thing, and he one-shot me with like a freaking axe.
Well, there you go. Learned your lesson.
There are consequences to actions.
The consequences to actions was like the coolest thing I could ever imagine in a game. That was Anyway, just sidebar about Morrowind. Gotta love that game. Make a new one, by the way. Bethesda. My
We're
God.
waiting.
They probably have someone somewhere in a locked room working on the next game, and they have been for the last 7 years.
Yeah, they've been
And-
announcing it like, hey, it's coming.
They teased
Yeah,
it
well-
last year, didn't they?
I think it was 2 years ago.
I mean,
Elder
now we
Scrolls?
got this
Oh
whole
my
cyberpunk debacle, so now everyone's going to be terrified of like anything ambitious.
I'm like, take your
um,
time.
Even though cyberpunk in 6 months or even a year is probably going to be phenomenal. It's just
Mm-hmm.
they just need to, clean it up, clean
Yeah.
her up.
I mean, I don't want
It'll
to
be
tangent
fine.
too much, but I feel like I'm in a small minority maybe that thinks that cyberpunk is
You
great.
liked it?
I like it a
No,
lot.
it is great.
It's
A lot of people say it's
buggy.
really good. It's just buggy as hell.
But
Yeah.
man, it's good. There's a lot there. Anyway, that's just me.
Again, it could completely be GTA 5 again. Like they could just go mods and open world and all kinds of stuff with it.
It could.
Exactly.
Anyway, where are we?
I think we're having
Spaghettios.
Christmas.
Audio
Spaghettis.
issues, I think.
Ooh, but we want to just to expand. Okay, so you've been streaming for a very long time. Butt print on the ground from sitting there all the time streaming. When did you decide that you could be, like financially, it could support you, be your career?
Honestly, that really wasn't until last year. So currently, because of the pandemic, my husband did end up, like, his job ended up closing down, and I've been supporting my family ever since, just from streaming. So
Wow.
it's been stressful, but at the same time, it feels nice to know that I am successful enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
incredible.
That is
Is that
amazing.
when you kind of like thought of it that way when the pandemic hit?
I've always thought of it that way. Ever since I
Okay.
started, I was like, this is my career path.
Mhm.
But it takes time to build up
Yes, it
your
does.
community and finances and things like that. So eventually it just so happened.
Yeah,
So
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I kind of like resonate with that in that I'm like I support my family,
mhm.
and I feel like it's a precarious position to be in because of the very nature of the job is so volatile.
Yeah.
And then to be like the quote unquote breadwinner or whatever for the family is also terrifying because it's like, okay, cool, I have a super volatile career and I'm basically it for the family.
And,
So like,
and it's also not only you that it affects if it goes
Exactly.
awry.
Everyone.
yeah. So that's an interesting. How have you dealt with and managed that kind of stress? Have you felt that stress? Have you felt that at all, or is it kind of have you been able to avoid that or manage it?
Initially starting out, I was, hit the ground running. I was so stoked. It helped that I had, another adult at home because our son is doing school virtual. So he's here. and
sure.
So
Yeah.
it's just been a weird roles reverse dynamic because even though I've always been streaming, if I ever needed to like take time off or cut a day short or things like that to take care of our son,
Mhm.
I'm now no longer like the full-time parent. I am in this moment, I'm like 80% Sam, 20% household stuff. And it used to be the other way where it was my husband that was always working and I was the homemaker while also streaming.
Mhm.
So he's gotten to try to get used to this new dynamic, and there's
sure.
me trying to get used to this dynamic. And even though it's been like a good 7-8 months now, it's still stressful, and it's definitely weighing down more as of recent. So that question is loaded.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I just, forgive me. I wasn't kind of planning on going that direction. I just,
You're fine.
kind of understanding your more personal and professional dynamic that you have at home, especially, I mean, even adding a child to that now and the homeschooling aspect of it. It just sounds very, like a better word, interesting, and how you're just kind of juggling all these different hats and doing all this stuff. How old's your son, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't put his age out there,
That's
but
fair.
he is
Okay.
older elementary.
Old elementary. Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's totally fair.
So like he's fine. He can do his own thing most of the time.
Yeah.
When he's done with school, he's like, "All right, can I play video games now?" And I'm
Exactly.
like, "Sure."
Exactly. The reason
That's
I'm
cool.
asking that essentially is because like we would, during the beginning of the pandemic, we actually had a family living with us who was like in between homes, and they had a wide range of kids. And my wife teaches first grade, so I hear what it's like to be on a Zoom call with a first grader versus a Zoom call with like a 7th or 8th grader. Like it's a different, you don't have to manage them as much, right? So
it's a journey.
It's a lot. I can imagine it's a lot.
Yeah.
And we actually have just a little bit later in the pod, I think we're gonna attack some of that stuff from a few different angles.
100%.
But until we get there, and kind of in the same spirit, you've had a lot of experience streaming, and I'm sure you made your fair share of mistakes or tried something that you were like, oh, I didn't work. So what's something that you wish you would have known when you started, something that would have made your life 1,000 times easier, something simple? Like, what's a tip you would give to someone who's starting right now that they can just avoid making that mistake immediately? It'll make their life easier.
One thing in particular is, and I know this probably sounds kind of cliche, is definitely knowing when to say no, like to opportunities or things like that, or a lot of times not taking every little affiliate link as like bright and shiny as it seems, because better things will come and those things will like just start piling on, and then you might get overwhelmed and not be able to take on the things that are actually good for you. So that's something that I had to learn over time, and as well as not feeding the trolls.
Yeah.
That's always a fun one. Learning as a female in this industry in the beginning, it was stressful. It was so bad.
Yeah.
But I've learned how to throw it back. So if they come at me, it's like, well, it's fine.
Streaming makes you nothing if not like sarcastic. Like
it does. You get a little cynical. That's true.
Get a little cynical.
Yeah.
I think that's why I gravitated to streaming. That is my natural. I'm like, ooh, this is my natural state. I can dish it. What do you got? Oh, you're making fun of me? I'll make fun of me, and then I'll make fun of you.
I'll make fun of me harder than
I
you
didn't see
can.
that one coming. I agreed with you, and then I backhanded you.
You gonna pick a bone? I'll pick it back.
You're a trash streamer. Yeah, well, I am garbage. So how about that? And they're like,
My favorite is when people
guy's
come
crazy.
in and it's not. I mean, sure, it could be a compliment, but when people are coming in, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so hot," and I'm like, "Are you sure? I'm really cold right now." That's my favorite response.
they're like, I don't know where
they
to go
just
with
go
this.
like, oh, I feel so weird now, and you're like, exactly.
And I'm
That
like,
is on
that
purpose.
makes one of us.
Yes,
that makes
you're getting it now.
exactly.
Well, yeah, I love that you touched on because right now, especially now, right? And probably when you started, it wasn't as crazy, but especially now, everyone's like, what is this? Gaming is a big industry. There's this many people watching, which is more than the Super Bowl. Like, I get that stuff. Like, people are like, I'm like, you don't need to explain the gaming space to me. Trust, I know about the numbers, but there's so many like companies outside of the space that are coming in. There's so many like the influencer marketing thing has become so mainstream that like every little startup, everything, it's very easy to come in and say, hey, we want you to be affiliated with us, even if they're like their company hasn't really done anything yet, or just there's a lot of predatory, people that there's just there's a lot out there that it really isn't bringing as much value. You're bringing them way more value than they're bringing you. And it starts with you can get advice on that stuff, and there's lots of people now out there now that know people who've been around in space, even a lot of your favorite streamers and stuff. Now the communities are so closely intertwined. If you've been in it and you're getting a little bit of that stuff, you can ask questions, you can DM people, there's lawyers and there's all kinds of people that are just will give you advice. Like it really, I'd say at least approach things with that mindset first, just to kind of add on and say, okay, what exactly is this? What does it mean, both sides, and how would this all work? And if something better came along, how could I then take the better one if this one's not working out?
Yeah.
If you don't see a way out, it's probably not a good thing to be in. If there's no way out of something, it's probably not a good place for you to be.
Yeah.
So just know that, especially if you get a little bit of notoriety, you get a little, you find a game you find your niche, you start to grow, that those things will flood you a little bit, and just kind of try to take things with a grain of salt. I love that. I don't think anyone's touched on that yet in 58 episodes. So it's really important. I think that's really really relevant to right now.
And I think it's also important to it varies differently according to different opportunities. However, just make sure that you have in your mind whenever you're doing business deals that you don't need them, they need you.
Exactly.
So that'll help you with your value as well.
Yeah.
That's true.
Always know your value, and if anything, value yourself a little bit more than maybe the market might, and you'll end up making better decisions long term. And that's great advice. It's especially that stands even going through even through the baseball world, and it's limited the number of things from like just merch. There's a couple things, but like you even had to look at those, like, are they trying to lock you in for 5 years? Like, where are you going to be in 5 years? It's a whole thing that I became aware of before I even started streaming. So I had a leg up, and that was really helpful for me. And I have a advisor, someone who I've known for a decade now, and who has helped me too. And that's something that he brings up all of the time, is knowing your value. So if you go in with an open mind, knowing that you are going to determine what that is, and that is something that you're focused on, you're going to have a much better experience and find a lot of stuff that you actually care about being involved in, and that's
Agreed.
Makes it fun. But we have an amazing, we asked last week, we had a call to action. We said, hey, call the number, please, leave messages, please, because we want to hear what you have to say. And we got an awesome one this week. I'm really excited to hear it. Whenever you're ready, PM.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm 26, currently living in Seattle. I just want to say, Trevor and Paul, you guys do an amazing job. And Trevor, that was an amazing message or a little like voicemail thing to leave a message to. But before I ask my question, I want to say this real quick. Please keep doing what you guys are doing, especially in lieu of what Paul posts on Twitter. You guys are two great, amazing people, and the guests are always great. I'm just not sure which guest is on. Not to say that you don't do anything awesome, but, please keep doing what you're doing, making great content and being such a positive influence in this dark world. But my question is this. A lot of people, they say, I want to make content, I want to be a content creator, but, we don't really see maybe behind the veil of bigger streamers or, bigger content creators. How do you guys actually produce content in terms of maybe like an idea or I want to try and create these series of videos. Do you guys maybe sit down and actually, write out, I want to create X content? Or do you just kind of, bounce off of ideas of other people? Or do you see, for example, say a big streamer, does something and you think, man, I really like that idea. I'm going to kind of, take that and use it to, create something of my own. But yeah, what do you guys do to create content? Or, at least create the idea of creating content. And then I also have to say, PM, you do an amazing job. Your Twitter
Yeah,
is strong.
we had to get that in.
Insert GIF of Baby Yoda saying yay.
Yay. There it is.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Daniel. That's an awesome. Thanks for all the shout outs. That was really, really nice. That was everything in together. But just to kind of, I think maybe narrow it down just a little bit. I think he's just asking about process, because a lot of people are like, I like content. I understand the idea of content. It's become a very like structured word, I guess, in the world. A lot of people say the word content. It means like everything. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but like just maybe just one idea of, or give one example of a process that you use, and I can start and give you guys a chance to just think about it for a second. Like right now, this is really relevant to me. I'm kind of focused really heavily on YouTube, and we reduced the number of YouTube videos we're putting out. So for a long time, I was just like streaming all the time, and then we take those, just like, hey, scrub this 6 hours video and just put together some highlight thing on YouTube. So we're hitting both things. But now it's being a lot more curated, meaning I'm doing something that I know is going to go on YouTube, as opposed to just streaming it and then putting it there. And that takes just a little bit more planning, but it's been so fun. I get why people get into YouTube specifically before they stream, because it's a lot more planning, and you can mess up and stuff, and no one sees it until you give the final product, which is really cool. And so, yeah, it's sitting down, it's coming up with ideas, knowing a couple things I want to do. Like recently, Minecraft has gotten my interest. I don't know why I never got in this game earlier, because it's just super.
Love it.
It's just, you can do literally anything. So recently I saw a guy do the one block thing, where one block map where you start with one block, you mine that block over and over. It's random, and then you just build stuff from what it gives you, which is like so cool. And you're just in space though. If you fall off your block, you die. So you have to like make a platform and like expand it from this one area.
Interesting.
And yeah, so that was I saw a really interesting idea. A lot of people have done it. It's a map that's been made and it's free. And but I was like, how would that look if I did it? And it would look different than everyone else's, because of, first of all, my experience in the game, and second of all, just the way I envision things. And that's why Minecraft is a really cool game. So I've been writing down on my handy dandy notebook here about just different types of different maps and different ways to get people involved, and how could I bring 200 people into a map? How could I do stuff solo? And just like expanding it around the game, and this is just specifically YouTube. And then on stream, I've been more enjoying playing games with my friends, Paul and Jen and Ben and Tim, and all the other generic names of people born in the 80s and 90s.
Wow.
Wow. And
Wow.
And I've been doing completely different things. One's for YouTube and just knowing that during the season, I'm going to have to do more stuff off stream, because I'm going to be in a hotel somewhere in Philadelphia with really bad Wi-Fi, and I'm not going to be able to stream well. And if I'm not just chatting, so I would like to record some Minecraft, because I'll have the internet for that. I just won't have the internet so it's on purpose, but this has taken a really long time for me to get to this point. So, but like, yeah, it's having an idea and then just like making a plan, like how could we make this a thing? And it's working out really well, and I'm really having fun with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that was a loaded answer. I love it.
Yeah, that's why I like the question. He crushed it.
That was good.
What about you guys? An example of some process you use to, I don't know, make content decisions or decide if you're going to put some on Twitter, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, mine is definitely less exciting than whatever Sam has to say, so I really can't wait to hear what
Probably
Sam has to say.
Well, yeah. So yeah, basically what Trevor said, you figure out what you want to make. For Streamwise, I definitely like to link up with friends. I like to set up like Among Us lobbies, or I like to set up scary games. I just played Devour. Horrifying, by the way.
Saw a
So
little bit of
good.
that was horrifying. Yes. Yeah.
It was great. So you just find good groups of people, and whenever you like diversify with that as well, then your communities start to cross over, and you're introduced to so many more people as well. And so that's a good way for like communal growth amongst your peers as well. And so that's a thought process whenever I'm creating content. And I recently got into TikTok, because that's a thing that you can get anywhere.
Mhm.
You can go outside and film something, film yourself saying a funny joke, and people eat it up. They're like, yeah, sure, that was hilarious. Probably not, but whatever.
Or they won't,
analytics.
but that's the beauty. They might.
Or they won't. Yeah.
Yeah, just comment and let me know how much it sucks because it boosts my algorithm.
Exactly.
So there you go with that. I'm just now kind of sort of dabbling in YouTube. I never started with that prior. I'm horrible at editing. I am looking currently for a new editor. So, I'm just doing my thing.
There's a job
But-
available, everybody.
There you go.
Seriously, send me an email. Anyway, so, but what I focus in on whenever I really sit down and try to curate specific content, it's mostly when in regards to like charity. So charity for me, I need to sit down and figure out my incentives, and I'll run these incentives even by my mod team. Like they're close friends, and they're the ones that are going to be there and helping me figure that out. So we'll bounce back ideas, what would potentially do well. Or there are moments where I'm just like, I don't need anybody else's ideas because I'm a masochist and I'll eat these jelly beans that taste like boogers. So, because, it's for the kids in the end.
Exactly. Yes.
But it's also like, what'll get a good reaction? What could potentially be good clips later that could be edited and placed on Twitter? So there's a lot that goes in behind the scenes. I'm definitely somebody that writes out all of my stuff. Lists are my kink, and I'm here for it. So, like, give me organization.
Yes. And if you
I'm
can
so
check
sorry.
those
Can I
things
say
off the
that on
list,
the
even
show?
better.
Worse has been said.
Okay.
Totally the best. Oh my
I didn't
goodness.
even ask.
Watches the home edit one time and just
Organization is beautiful.
so hot. Love organization. Oh my gosh. Oh man.
Gets me going.
Honey, did you just put all those pencils together in one spot? Oh my god.
Did you color coordinate our closet? Oh baby.
I'm literally describing my wife. That is she 100. If I like
your
organize. Oh my gosh. Yeah. One time I this is a side. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
One time I folded my shirts the way Marie Kondo does in my dresser, and she saw it once and she was like, honey, what is this?
Oh my God, did they spark joy?
What is this?
Oh baby.
Did they stand up by themselves, Paul?
I was like, I folded my shirt so I could see the logo graphic on each one of the shirts. She's like, oh my gosh, where did you see this?
Hey,
Loved it.
Random sidebar on Paul's random sidebar. There is a lady on TikTok called the Folding Lady. Look her up. Oh my God.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
Changed how we fold towels.
Lady.
Oh, sorry, Sam, you're talking about lists.
Yeah. That's it.
Make lists.
Make lists.
Make lists.
And make sure you actually check them.
That's it.
But no, yeah, just whatever comes to your mind, write it down, and if it's something that can come to fruition, then that's something you look into.
I love that.
And then you got to do it.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Let's just
Somehow gotta do it.
Yeah.
It's really important. You have an idea, do the idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad I had you both go first, because Paul do not operate like that.
You just make it up as you go.
Yeah, I mean, not in a way. So it's multifaceted. I'm to keep it as short as I possibly can. This is like the way I kind of view it is it's personality based and it's also social media based in my mind. So you have to kind of reconcile your personality type with the type of social media you're making. The way you handle, at least in my mind, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter are generally ish the same, but also have their obviously different algorithms and things you have to do. Then the way you handle Twitch and the way you handle YouTube are like very different. From the way I view it. The way I would curate or make content for a TikTok is not even remotely the way I would go to make content for Twitch. It's a completely different atmosphere. When I think of Twitch, I think of collaboration. So I think Twitch is the most fun when you have a fun group, not what game you're playing. I think the game doesn't necessarily matter. It matters for you, maybe, if you're enjoying the game because you're the one playing it. But I think if you have a good group around you, you could be playing solitaire. Like, it doesn't matter as long as there's good banter and you guys are having fun. That's why all these big YouTube personalities and bigger streamers are all part of like groups typically. Like, you can't think of Cloaksy without thinking of Nick and Tim. You know what I mean? Or PK. You can't think of Wildcat without thinking of Vanos and and Marcel and all the others. So I think that's important. So deciding what social media platform you're making it for and your personality. I hate lists. Lists turn me off real quick. I walked out. Oh yeah.
Lists.
My God. I come downstairs and Tears is my wife. She's like, I made a list of all the things that we can do today. And I'm like, mother of God, no. No. Because that means I have to do them.
Itineraries, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, I can't really do it as well. So I kind of just operate out of my head. I'm not saying it's efficient. I'm not saying it's the best way to do it. It's certainly not. But that's just how my brain works. So I appreciate the Trevors and I appreciate the Sams who within a group setting are able to make those lists and make plans of action because I can follow them. I can do the thing you've asked me to do. I'm good at doing a task for the most part, but coming up with the idea
come up with it
is not me. I can't do it. Like I might have a good idea every now and then, but I can't do it. So to answer the person's question specifically, how I make content, if it's for social media, it's typically top of the dome. The things that hit the hardest for me, like do the best on social media, are the things I come up with randomly. Like they'll just come in my head and I'll be like, I'm gonna do that right now. I have 15 minutes. Let me make this TikTok. And I'll do that and it'll do well or whatever. As far as planning it out, it'll never happen. And I think my community knows that. And it's hard to be that person. I wish I was more consistent and reliable, and I just can't do it.
I'm just not.
I'm just not. And I think you have to accept the type of person you are, but understand how you best fit in a group or how you can play to your strengths. Because we all can't be list makers and we all can't be, but we can all be king shamers. So I think that's important.
I mean, it's all about what your goals are, man. Like, people go, oh, I want to be in the NBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be an NBA player. Well, your actions better map to those words for a very long time and you better be tall as hell also. Physically gifted.
Or just be really tall.
But it's just like anything else. If you want to be the best at something, or if you just want to like get to a certain point, or if you want to be a certain person in the group, and that's where you're comfortable, and that's your goal, then good. Just as long as you are, you're going to find a lot of happiness as long as your actions are mapping to your words. So and it sounds like you're fine with being like, you're not like, I need to become a list person. That's my, or you're like, I want to be the master of lists, but I hate lists. You're like
master of lists.
That doesn't make. I couldn't think of anything that was really
gather all the lists together and buy.
Or you're like, I want to be the best personal assistant ever. Just never ask me to do a list. And he's like, pretty sure that's part of the job.
True.
You're probably not going to do this.
Exactly.
So just make sure that, keep that in mind. Awesome. Well, you know what time it is? It's time to sell you something. It's time for the ad, everybody.
It's time to sell you something.
Today's podcast, the May Contain Action podcast, that is brought to you by Manscaped. 2 million men are already trusting Manscaped products to groom. So make sure you're one of them. Your girl can't think of what to get to you this year. That is for Valentine's Day. That is. Sure, it was last week, but why can't you just get presents in the middle of the week?
I knew it.
Tell her to get the gift that's for you and for her. The best way to get started is with Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0, full of the best products to keep you looking, smelling, and feeling nice. The Perfect Package 3.0 is led by the revolutionary third-generation lawnmower TM 3.0 trimmer, which has advanced skin-safe TM technology and features cutting-edge ceramic blades to reduce grooming accidents. It's also waterproof, which prevents a mess in the bathroom and in the sink, and you won't get electrocuted. Especially when it's time for Cupid to shoot his arrow last week. And let's be real, we've all smelled the worst down there before. That's why I'm thankful for their crop preserver and crop reviver. It keeps it going and it wakes it up. These products keep your boys from sweating, smelling, and sticking. And these products smell good. Their manly scent is attractive and will help set a mood, if you know what I mean. The Perfect Package 3.0 also comes with a pair of Manscaped boxers. They are phenomenal. that'll keep your junk feeling fresh all day. It's time to upgrade those overused pair of boxers to Manscaped, TM. High performance anti-chafing boxer briefs. Easily the comfiest boxer briefs I've ever had.
Are they?
They're up there. And complete your grooming game with a new refined cologne signature set by Manscaped TM with the same signature set that is in all Manscaped TM formulas.
Stop saying TM.
This cologne is a perfect complement to the collection. It's the perfect package for your perfect package. You get 20% off, free shipping with code MCA at manscaped.com. That is MCA at manscaped.com. Tell them we sent you. Your balls will thank you.
Dude, I'm so glad Manscaped doesn't listen to this podcast.
Oh, yeah. There's no way. There's no way. Because we would not continue to be with them.
Good job.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
And while we're here, don't forget to follow this Twitch channel and turn on notifications so you know when we are live, even though you know that we are here literally 6 p.m. every single week Eastern time, except actually for next week, which
every single week.
Except for next week, which we are taking a little time. I forgot to do it in the intro, so we're going to do it now. We're taking a little time. We have a special announcement to make the following week. So
yeah, we do.
Just put that in the back of your dome and then wonder for the next 2 weeks. And also sub to the YouTube channel if that is where you consume the Make Contain Action podcast. We would really appreciate it. So we talked a little bit about it earlier. We kind of went on tangents into it a little bit about what the pandemic has meant to the streaming and just the mental health side of being a streamer or being a content creator, because like we've talked about several hundred times on the pod up to this point, just like taking time off and you just know that you're like, okay, sub counts are going to go down, views are going to go down, and therefore money is going to go down for a certain amount of time. Like you have to be okay with that to on purpose take time off, right? And that's just one of the many things that come along with like having to be consistent every day and not really having that 5-day work week and not really having that like forcing yourself to take time off. So, Sam, you had a really awesome tweet recently where your community, you didn't feel like streaming that day. You were burning out a little bit. You didn't want to be before. You're like, I got to do it because of the things we talked about earlier. And they really picked you up, which is one of the best parts about being on Twitch is the number of people that actually genuinely care about you and like want you to be okay and then want to see you and hang out with you, which is amazing. But I really wanted to get your thoughts and kind of let you vibe a little bit on it. Just the importance of kind of checking with yourself, because it's so important to like wake up in the morning and be like, how do I feel today? And do I have the energy to make this thing work? And do I need a day off, or am I going to burn out if I don't take one? All those things, the importance of that, taking days off. And Paul and I had another pretty in-depth conversation a couple weeks back about like looking at your view count, right? Having it on your screen when you're live, things like that. And the how that weighs on you, but how you use data to like make good decisions about your stream as opposed to like really just being obsessed with those numbers. And it seems like you've spent some time thinking about it and working through it. So we'd love to hear your thoughts. We could start with the importance of checking in.
It's definitely been something that's very present in my life currently. I am somebody who has definitely kept a very close eye on my analytics, which includes my viewership and stuff like that, because I have so much weight on me to take care of my family. So that's always in the back of my head, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling a little extra tired, but I gotta feed my family. I don't feel very good, but I gotta feed my family. I gotta keep the roof over our head. I gotta take care of us. And so that's my motivation. But at the same time, it cripples me because hopefully one day, but I'm not quite there yet where I can just take time off and like financially we're fine. However, I have been in burnout. I honestly am in burnout right now. And my community is very aware of that. I'm very close and open with them. And I took off like 4 or 5 days, and I have a good community, but my moderators all kind of circled up behind my back to send me like different gifts to remind me like, hey, we love you.
Oh, that's awesome.
they gave me like a gift card for groceries because they know that that's a big thing for me.
Wow.
And
That's incredible.
it is, and I'm grateful to be surrounded by the people that I am. It's something that I just have to wake up and reiterate in my head to make sure that I'm not overly pushing myself into like a dangerous zone of mentality. And like I've been definitely going through that, but I've had deep conversations with my community and they're all well aware of where I am. And like yesterday, which I'm sure is the tweet that you were mentioning, because that's
Yeah.
the one I put out. I had talked about how much I did not want to stream yesterday. This is more personal, but I'm still open about it. I actually just started antidepressants a few days ago, and I struggled with that so long for the thought of it, because there's a stigma where there shouldn't be
Yeah.
about needing, your store-bought serotonin. But it's like day 4 right now, and I'm feeling it. Like I'm feeling that things are gonna get better.
Mm-hmm.
Getting out of that hole. I do my therapy every week. I do what I need to do to make sure that I get work done, because I love my job and I love my family, and so now I gotta love me.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm at.
And at the end of the day, if you let yourself get to a point where, if you burn that wick down so low that like you can't stream for 2 weeks, are you really solving, or you know what I mean? Are you by pushing through, is that making it better? Are you doing the roof over the head, or is it actually going to be long term hurt that? And so it's like taking time off. It almost like makes it so that tomorrow or that next day that the quality is so much better that you can continue to go on that career journey, right? And things things would go up from there. And that was really I really appreciate you talking about that. That is because I think it's something that a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are on Twitch and have this as their main job that are feeling and are in very similar situations than you, and might be really helped by you talking about it. And so that is I can't say enough about how amazing that is. So thank you.
I'm
But
trying. It's like a lot of bravery to talk about it, because people want to try to bring you down any way they can.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think too, the added social aspect of obviously the pandemic, but how that forced a surge in Twitch in general and live streaming in general as well. So now you have the normal stressors of just being an entertainer essentially, right? And then you add whatever your family's dealing with COVID, and then you add an influx of people to the platform, which increases competition. It's a cocktail. It's definitely, and I mean, you've been streaming for a very long time.
I have.
I feel that there was a time where I literally hung it up for like 6 or 7 months. I was like, I can't I can't do it anymore. And it's tough because I'll just speak for me in this particular situation, but I felt like a sense of responsibility to the people who watched me. And I also felt a sense of responsibility to their mental health as well, where, you have made a positive influence in someone's life by just being you on stream, however long you stream for, and, they interact with your chat and they build community. And you say, hey, I know you're having a great time and this is really helpful. I have to take a break for however long. You have this and I'm not saying that it's right or wrong or whatever. I'm just saying that's what weighed on me of like, if I don't stream for a week, how are these people going to be? How are they going to do?
Yeah.
And that played a huge part in my hiatus from streaming for like I said, 5, 6 or however long it was, 6, 7 months. But when you came back and you're able to take that time for yourself, you like reappreciate the job, you reappreciate all the fun you have with the people you play with, but you have to take that time. Yeah.
Burnout
is going to happen in almost anything you choose to do. Like whatever job it may be. So it's not like streaming is unique in that by any means, but man, taking that, I'm just thinking about all the times I've taking that time is so important, even if it's just a day. And then I'm glad that you also talked about, you recently opened up about taking antidepressants, which I think is so important. Like it's not, we're chemical beings. We have all the stuff going on biologically that we have little control over. And I think it's really important to address that you have this issue that you're facing and then take steps to resolve it rather than just saying, I'm not going to worry about that. Or I don't want to be considered weak or whatever it may be. So
that's what got me here is by putting in my head over and over. And I was like, well, I don't want to look like that.
Exactly.
Even though I never look at anybody else who's on antidepressants.
No,
like that.
of course not.
But I'm seeing it in myself. I'm just like, oh, but Sam, you'll be fine next week. Like you're always fine.
Yes.
But that's just not what it is. And it also, a lot of it comes from comparing yourself to your peers. Whenever your content is different than your peers, your personality is different than your peers, your community that you've cultivated is different than your peers. And I was talking about this with my community today that 2 years ago or last year or 6 years when I started, like little Sam would have dreamed to be where I am. And now where I am is making me unhappy. Like that's a problem. And that's when you need to step back and figure out where your happiness is coming in your streaming. Are your goals feasible? And remembering that slow growth is still growth.
Yeah.
So.
And you're making decisions to make sure that you continue, you'll be able to continue to fight, and continue to pursue those things that you really enjoy and move towards those goals. And sometimes that progress slows down for a bit, but it never stops. And that's kind of the way to think about it. And you saying like comparing yourself to peers and stuff, as someone who has had to be a competitor and compete against people on my own team for spots on the team above us, like my whole life. I'm very, very well acquainted with that. It was so hard for me not to apply that same mindset to streaming at the beginning, which was so weird. But finding that spot where you're like, I'm different. I would be like, when I played Fortnite all the time, I was like, man, I just want to be really good. And I just want to, and then I realized that I'm getting dunked on by people who are playing for 16 hours every day. I'm not even going to wake for 16 hours. Right. So like, I'm not going to ever compete with that ever. And I'm 30 and I have gray hair and I'm pretty sure I'm balding and it's, I'm just
bunched
different.
Up toes. Yeah. No,
It got my own share of problems. And, I bet you they can't throw a baseball as fast as me. Like that's where I go. I'm so much. Do you have any idea how good at baseball I am?
Yeah, exactly.
Leave me alone.
Sam's
are you that good at musical chairs?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a joke because I broke my finger and had surgery playing musical chairs.
What?
Whoa, that went to that took a turn.
the first battle royale. I'm here to say
it is the first battle royale.
The first battle royale.
Well, on that happy note. I have a fun, kind of different spin on games. So if you guys want to play, it's for Paul and Sam. You both get to play. It's kind of a rapid fire. We did rapid fire last week where I give two things and just you say your preference right away. This is a little bit different. And this is all Nintendo based because you are the only person we've ever met that Nintendo knows exists. So, which is amazing. So I have 5 questions. I want you guys to hit me with your immediate answer. They're all Nintendo based, so it's gonna be like your favorites of things, and then I'll tell you like what everyone else's is like based on best selling or whatever. So we'll hit you both. We'll let Sam answer first every time, and then Paul you can hit right away, and then I'll give you the information.
I have a question.
All right. Question number 1: what is the best Nintendo console ever made? Go.
64.
I was N64.
Wow, I did not expect you both to say N64. That's it for me too. But technically, Nintendo DS is by far the highest selling, slightly above Wii. Believe it or not.
Wait. Okay. First of all, I had 2 questions. 1, PM. That is so loud. Jeez. What is the stream is falling apart? It's fine.
All right, we're going without it. Put it in post.
Put in post. Secondly, this is like a true thing. I thought it was just my preference.
No, you want your preference. Then I'll tell you like based on.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just like most people think.
So there's not a wrong answer.
There's not a wrong answer. I actually want to know. And Paul, very rarely we actually get to ask your opinions on things. We usually just throw you in the game and then you got to get the right answers. So I actually want your guys' opinion. And Sam is a Nintendo guru.
Heck yeah.
She's got.
She knows everything.
All I'm saying is her opinion is better than ours. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So N64 for me as well. I'm going to answer him as well because I want to participate.
That's perfect.
N64. So that brings us to our next question. Best game ever. It doesn't have to be for N64. You can add that if you want. But what's the best game in your opinion?
On Nintendo?
Yeah, on any console. It doesn't even have to be on the 64. Best Nintendo game ever made.
Whoa. That's tough.
Mine's oh gosh.
Yeah.
Can't you give us like a franchise?
Yeah, you can pick a franchise if you want. Okay, how about this? Best Pokemon game.
Snap.
Pokemon
Actually,
Snap.
no, Stadium.
Stadium was great.
I loved Stadium.
Freaking Sam. Yes. Stadium was the ish. That was awesome.
So good.
Oh my God. I love Stadium.
I probably spent the most time in Pokemon Red on Game Boy Color.
There you go.
That's probably my number one. Or actually most played, but I'd say the best game ever. And I know this is going to be really cliche, but the best game ever is Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball on N64.
Oh my gosh. Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball is not a game.
What about Donkey Kong 64?
Ooh.
Okay. Donkey Kong was good too, but I liked Donkey Kong Country better.
Excuse you, the audacity.
Yeah. Well, it was the first video game that I was ever given that was mine. Which was my brother and I.
You have like an attachment.
I have an attachment to it, and my brother and I got a console. We shared. He's 6 years older, so when they buy us a console, we'd share it. It was like for both of us for Christmas.
Oh wow!
And so he'd get a game, and I get a game, and I get the Donkey Kong since I was a child, and he got something that I'm going to talk about later. That's in another question. I don't want to bring it up yet. I don't want to give it away.
Okay. All right.
All right. So third question.
Yeah.
In your opinion, who is the best Nintendo character?
Oh come on.
Zelda. Obviously, she's like the best.
That's interesting because I'm going to say Link.
They're a good duo.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just loved Zelda because she was like my first like, oh yes, a babe. You know?
She was.
Babe.
I'm here for her. A babe that like is not a damsel.
Literal queen.
She's like, let me just turn into Sheik real quick and be like,
Oh yeah.
ginger you up.
You nailed the sound effect.
She is badass.
Exactly what it sounded. Yeah, that I really liked Link because he kind of seemed like this lost orphan boy who like was just like, I don't know, I guess I'll just save the world. I don't know where I'm. He had like no personality, so like you just kind of like project yourself onto him pretty easily. Yeah. I feel like so.
Best sound effects. You get hurt.
And they've literally used that audio for every anime since.
Exactly. Link eating, going to sleep, everything,
getting into bed. Oh God. Well, for me, and actually technically via the internet, the most popular characters based on surveys taken over the last 20 years are Mario and Peach.
Yeah. I mean, they're the obvious ones,
but they're like the face. They're the faces of like Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like Mario was like technically one of the highest selling games ever, or the Mario franchise. But for me, I always gravitated towards Luigi. And it's because Mario is like the front man. And I get it. He's obviously like the best, but like Luigi's like the tall, goofy, like brother. So I was like, that's me. I'm the tall, goofy brother.
You are.
I feel like he's just got a kind soul. You know?
He does. And I really liked the Mario movie when they were video.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. It's awful.
And a live action one?
Yeah,
live action one.
Wow.
God, what's that actor's name who played Luigi? He's in a bunch of stuff. I can't even remember his name, but yeah, that 90s movie, the Koopas were so weird.
Old. Very old.
That movie.
It was very in the vein of like the Power Rangers movies. Like, like very kitschy and
honestly, I always connected with Yoshi. I was like, I don't know.
Man, I love apples.
Love me some Yoshi. I always felt bad that Mario would smack him in the back of the head to
Get him to run.
So,
I'm about that Bowser though.
Hey, grab that apple. Wah!
and then he would just like run off and fall into a hole. And it was terrible. Anyway.
Yeah. He didn't get enough love. He was like the most valuable character in the game. He was he had so much
Exactly.
utility, and then everyone's just like, all right, go away.
He had a
We'll come back when we need a ride. Oh god. Hashtag sad for Yoshi. Okay, next question. Okay, taking it even further.
Yeah.
So in the Nintendo universe, what's the best like environment / map?
Breath of the Wild, like just the entirety of all of it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
The map is massive.
The map is.
But remember, it can be any game that was on a Nintendo. Like it doesn't. You can even get outside of the quote unquote Nintendo franchises. Like what's it like? It could be one of the first person map that you love to play. Anything.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Trevor. But Breath of the Wild is still that. It is so
it's groundbreaking. Yeah,
it took a lot of those slots.
I freaking.
But
love
Donkey
that
Kong
game.
64 though. I love that game so much.
Yeah.
The little fairy area and the girl, she's just like, and you're just like, shut up, I'll get you fairies, and it's great.
You mean the giant fairy lady?
Yeah, she's just in there crying forever instead of going to find her kin.
And freaking take you into a weird fairy den.
Even though I'm giant. And you're like,
she gives you a camera and she's like, go take pictures. You're like, okay.
oh, yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's so weird.
Bro, she's super creepy.
That's the weirdest like request, but you're like, yeah, I'll do that.
Why not?
You're gonna enhance my
how many
armor.
things do I get to
anything.
climb? You know. There's something about N64. They just loved putting cameras in their games. They're just like,
yeah.
Camera function. We could do a game where we take pictures of Pokemon.
Oh yeah. Holy frick.
snap.
Back.
Oh, there's a new one coming back, and I'm sure it's going to be huge. When that launches on Twitch, everyone's going to play it.
Absolutely, I'll be there.
Every single person. And it's just going to be taking pictures, and within a day, everyone's like, wait, we're just taking pictures of Pokemon. Is that all we do? And they're like, yep. And you're like, oh, well, this would last a little longer. For me, some of the GoldenEye maps are like, even though I don't know their names.
Yeah, no, for sure.
What was it? There was one lab or.
I remember one in particular. It was like a big old temple, and like the doors kind of like slid down, or did they slide?
Yeah.
Down? I don't remember, but that one was fun.
That sounds familiar.
There's one with like where you could hide in a bathroom stall.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you go through the vent. Do you go through a vent?
You
Yeah,
go through the vent.
you go
Yeah,
through
you
the
go through vents. That was
Oh
the
my
best
gosh.
like Deagle one where everyone's just
So,
Deagles. Oh,
I
so
feel
fun.
like I remember that vent thing. I remember being in the bathroom. Maybe I'm imagining this, and you're looking up the vent, and I'm like, how the frick do I get up there? And then one day I just jumped, and then he just like somehow, I don't know if he just like suction cupped onto the walls and pulled himself up, and I was like, where are my arms?
One like it's like an Easter egg, like a little like secret passage you get out. Yeah,
Yeah, it was very odd.
so awesome. Oh god, I'm
This is
reminiscing.
unlocking memories.
I like this. Yeah, I like this game. Or whatever it is, rapid fire question game. Last question, actually. So this is the one I was so super excited to ask. What's a game that was on a Nintendo console that you played that many people may have either forgotten existed or just like never heard of?
Mischief figures.
Mischief what?
What?
Exactly. It was this little character, and you had to like go around and do whatever little quests were, and you could like grab these little face alien things, and you go like shake, shake. And I make references to that sound effect all the time on my stream. Nobody ever knows what I'm talking about.
Mischief Makers?
Oh yeah, sorry, Mischief Makers, and then also
what's called?
64.
Mischief Makers?
Yeah.
I remember the shake, the alien face shake. I don't remember the premise of the game at all. I remember doing that.
You're just doing little missions, usually rescuing little guys and then beating big guy boss. And, yeah, nobody ever knows what I'm talking
the
about.
Toy Story game.
Yo, that was a good game. That was
That
like
was
an
a
open
good game.
world
It was like a
first one.
platformer. Yeah, it was a good one. That was a
It
good
was
one.
like 3D-esque.
Holy frick! That's
But my
awesome.
game that a lot of people probably have heard of, but forgot existed. Killer Instinct. So that was the game
Oh yeah,
my brother got,
the first one.
and it's just basically a Mortal Kombat knockoff, like straight up. But actually, the history of video games, the one that's on Netflix, right, where they break down where video games came from, they talked about Killer Instinct being one of the cabinet games in an arcade.
Yes. Yeah.
And being a competitor to Mortal Kombat. When it came out, people were like, oh, this is just as good, maybe even better. So there was like a huge battle between them for a long time, and then it went to console.
Yes.
and then they both did. But and then Mortal Kombat took over again. But for a little bit, Killer Instinct was the sought after, like, fighting game.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could be Cinder, and you could just spin people into the side, and they couldn't do anything, and it was awful. And my brother, who was 12, and I was 6, or no, wait, how old would he be? No, he was 14. I was 8, and he would just do it, and then he would beat me every single time, and I hated it.
Like that guy on freaking Street Fighter who like extend his legs. You just like
yes,
the guy with hits you from a mile away, and you're like, how do I even defend against this? Like, there's no stupid.
Cinder was like the guy on the Fantastic Four, the guy with the fire guy, Johnny. What's his name? Johnny.
The fire guy? Yeah, Johnny Storm. Yeah,
Johnny. Is it Johnny Storm?
I'm standing by it. It's Johnny Storm.
It is now.
I don't know if it is or not, but it is now.
Anyway,
exactly.
That's who Cinder is. Cinder he's just a fire guy, and he just spins and like can fly, and you can't block it. And then once he got you couldn't get out of it. So yeah, the game was broken, but it was super cool, and people forgot about it. But I was also 8 and was just okay being good at Donkey Kong Country and dodging barrels.
Oh, for sure. Mine is Gex Enter the Gecko was my absolute favorite game. I think it was my first ever game on an N64, and it was, you essentially would just play this gecko who watched a lot of TV, and then you would just like, he got like sucked into the TV, and he'd have to accomplish missions based off of like pop culture things. So like, it's awesome. So like, you'd go into like a 007 world and like solve a problem there, and then you go into like a Mario-esque kind of world, and you'd have to solve problems there. And there was like all these big TVs. It was amazing. He would crack jokes too the entire time. He would just do like a bunch of one-liners, and I was just like dying as a kid. I'm like, these are the funniest. This gecko's hilarious. And so yeah, he would just go to different pop culture things and accomplish missions and crack wise. He was
Crack wise. Oh,
wise.
God. I take me back. We should just like make emulators and just do this on stream now.
Can you do that? I thought it's like,
dude,
I'm sure somebody can.
I've made an emulator on a Raspberry Pi.
Really?
For a NES. Do you know what a Raspberry Pi is? It's like a little Linux computer, like a little handheld one.
Yeah,
and you can,
Raspberry, Raspberry Pi.
And because the games are so small, they're like tiny storage that you can put hundreds of them on like an SD card. And so you just half of them don't work, but there's like you can get them for free on the internet, and then you just like, it's like a little tiny bit of coding, and then you just plug it into a monitor, and it boots up as a console.
It's like what they did with the new SNES.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who it was. Didn't some music person buy some console from China, and it had like a bunch of games on
Soldier
it?
Boy.
Soldier Boy, yeah.
Soldier Boy came out with a Soldier console.
Yeah. And it just like had a bunch of stuff on it.
That was super like not his. He bought it from like, he sold it on Alibaba. Like,
I think it was illegal.
It was very illegal. Yes, he didn't have the rights to like 80% of the games. So you can't sell them. Like, so like it's very much like, there's some of the stuff is like, well, a lot of it's just like what's it called when like the IP expires. So like it's just free at that point. Like they don't control it anymore. It's like a certain amount of time as has passed on most NES games. So
I can't remember what that's called, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm meanwhile doing research on Gex. All the different levels are based off of movies. So the one level is called like Frankensteinfeld. Another one's called Thursday the 12th. It's like a horror level. And then the other one's called Smell Razor, like Hellraiser, but it's a bunch of farts and smells. It's all movies. Goofy. And it's Honey, I Shrunk the Gecko. It's great. Oh man,
I want to try it now.
I can
get it.
That's all I want to do is play this game. I'm sorry.
That's great.
That's right. Great game, Trevor.
That was good. That was fun.
Man, what a nostalgia trip.
I know. Oh gosh, we can talk about that forever.
My goodness.
Games.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I nailed it. All right. So as we kind of are coming towards the end of the podcast here, Sam, we do a little section called "Who Have You Been Watching Lately?" AKA the old side monitor. So while you're doing work or just watching YouTube or whatever, maybe you have someone on the side that you listen to or have up, or someone just you want to give a shout out to that you've been really enjoying watching their content recently. So we'll go first, and you can say whoever you'd like to give a little shout out to. Trevor, who have you been watching lately? Who's your side monitor?
My side monitor is a Minecraft YouTuber named Whip.
Yep.
F and then Whip with a WHIP. So he has coming up on, shout out to him, coming up on 500,000 subs, which is huge.
Nice.
He does lots. It's just Minecraft exclusively, 3 weeks, 3 videos a week.
Mhm.
But I'm just getting a lot of ideas. Like I talked about earlier, I'm just like, dude, Minecraft's this whole world. Like it's crazy. Just modding games is crazy. So I'm looking at all this stuff I'd be interested in doing, and he's got like 90 worlds going. He's doing all kinds of different stuff and everything.
Wow.
Oh, heck
Just
yeah.
like trying to get ideas and how he actually makes those videos and how they're engaging and how they're fun and learning. But twist, he's actually my cousin-in-law. So he is my wife Kate's cousin. His name is Bryce. I believe that is public knowledge. Hopefully I didn't dox you. But no, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that.
Guys.
But
his address
he recently, I remember a couple 18 months ago, I was at the family gathering where he told everyone he was quitting his job and going full-time in Minecraft, which was really cool. And at the point I hadn't played much Minecraft, so I was like, oh, like that's, because it's weird that we're both like gaming content creators on, and so he's run me through he's an amazing World of Warcraft player too, and he's ran me through some mythics. One time we did this mythic 8 key and we had no tank. Like that's how good they are.
Oh wow.
So I was like, wait, there's no one tanking this. They're like, no, we don't need one. I was like, what?
We don't need it.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done. What are you talking about? So he's an amazing gamer. He's an amazing dude. And if you want to learn how to play Minecraft, he's one of the best guys at explaining things that I found. So
Nice.
Whip, FWHIP on YouTube. I don't think he even streams on Twitch at all. I think it's all YouTube. So go check him out. He's got thousands of videos at this point, so tons to learn.
Heck yeah. My shout out this week, it goes to none other than FemSteph.
Woo!
Yeah, FemSteph is awesome. So she, for those of you maybe may or may not know, she just had a baby.
She did.
Boy. Super kill boy. She just came back to streaming again fairly recently. I want to say within the past week or so, after her maternity leave. And so I mean just that alone, I'm like, applause, like nicely done. You just had a baby, and that boggles my mind in of itself. And then you like come back and you stream and just deal with, like, I'm sure just nonsense, just absolute trolls that come in with that deal with that. And so just hats off to her for doing that. But she also is just a joy to be around, and we've co-streamed together a couple times, and she's just a blast, super easy to talk to, really good at like taking jokes and giving them back. The banter is always really good. So she's awesome. So check her out. She's at FEMSTEPH FemSteph on Twitch and Twitter, and she's I think the same on Instagram as well. So she's awesome. Hopefully future friend of the show.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Sam, who would you like to give a shout out to this week?
I would actually like to give a shout out to, honestly, my stream team. It's a team of 7 women, and they're incredible. So we've got Lexi Games, Ashley Roboto, R.I.P. Mika, Louisiana, Rotten Pappy, and Cat Scratch. They're all absolutely incredible. You can actually just find our team page with everybody listed with confectionery.tv. So yeah, and they're all awesome and definitely put out a variety of content. We got some spicy girls.
Heck
Also
yeah.
very sweet.
I saw a little for one of them, Ashley Roboto. I think I thought a lot of people saw a video she made of like pointing to things while dancing, like, hey, this is none of your business. And like like
about that.
like, hey, if you come into stream, maybe this isn't your job to police everybody, and like dancing and pointing to things on TikTok. It was great. It was a great video. So I've seen at least some of their work before, and it's a chef's kiss. So that's awesome.
So good.
I love the name too, by the way, confectionery. I just like, I love sugar.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. That's
I
what
love
we
sugar
are.
so much, and I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
At least. I'm just thinking of saltwater taffy. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like we always say.
That saltwater taffy is so good.
Like we always say, sugar, spice, and taties. Everyone, that's what we say. And taties.
Sugar, spice,
Delicious.
and cheese taties.
And cheese taties.
Delicious. All right. Well, here we are. We're at the end. We made it. We did it. Sam, before we get into the outro, though, what is going on with you soon? Are you got any events? Got any merch? Got any any charity stuff? Anything special happening soon?
Next Friday, there's going to be something happening on my channel that I can't say just yet. And March in general is going to be full.
Ooh.
It's gonna be lit, fam, as they say.
Great things. I pray so.
Oh, man.
So Friday, what time?
11 a.m. Pacific
11
Standard
a.m.
Time
Pacific.
on my
Okay.
channel.
Middle of the day. Go check it out, guys.
Ooh.
Go check it out next Friday. Put it on your calendars. Open up the app. Open it up right now. Put it in there.
What does that mean? What is that? It's going to be full. Oh, what does that mean? Oh,
So
It's
many
going to be
things.
fun.
Well, we're gonna find out as soon as the show's over, guys. She's gonna tell us how's that feel. You don't have to. She's gonna. You don't
totally got it.
Well, that has been our show, guys. We have two ways for you to get on the pod, just like you heard earlier. In addition to the review of the week, you can now use our phone number 503-908-9526, and you may have your question asked on the next episode. We really appreciate you, Daniel. That was awesome. Give us less stuff like be like Daniel. Thanks, guys. Before we go, let's give our shout out to the review of the week. This one comes from YouTube, and Redline TV says, "I love this podcast. It brings me so much joy to listen while I'm at work. It makes the day go by so much faster, and it's full of good laughs. Keep it up, guys. Look forward to new episodes every week." Thank you. That was really nice, clear, concise, to the point. Very nice. Very good.
Except for next week.
One more. Let me give you one more reminder. Next Thursday, February 25th, we are taking a week off to prepare some really exciting stuff coming to the MCA family. But are we going to tell you what that is? No, not right now. This has been the May Contain Action podcast. You can listen on all major carriers of podcasts, including Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, or you can watch the video on YouTube. Please leave a review there. You might just make the show. 5-star ratings on, I believe, Apple iTunes or Apple iPod or what's it called? Apple Podcast is the only place you can do that anymore because for some reason no one likes doing that. But if you are there, make sure you give us 5. Thank you so much. And don't forget to follow us on everywhere at May Contain Pod and at May Contain Action on TikTok. Thank you guys so much. Sam, where can they find you?
You could find me at twitch.tv/Seum, SEUM, or anywhere on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at JustSam, JUSTSEUM.
Heck yeah.
There.
Awesome. Go follow, go click. You guys know what to do. Thank you guys. That has been the show, and we will see you not next week, but the week after that.
God.
See you later.
End it, PM. End it.